Quick question. Is your site actually designed to get people to call or submit a form? In this clip from our webinar on small business growth, I walk through some very specific examples that you can actually apply to your own site to make the most of the traffic that you get. And some of these are pretty basic, fundamental, but honestly, you would be amazed at how often the fundamentals can be missed when it comes to website optimization. So with that, here's the clip.
Okay, and just some quick conversion rate fundamentals. There's a lot more that we could do to improve our conversion rate, but these are some big ones. So you want to make sure you have a strong call to action above the fold. So when I say above the fold, I mean this is when the website loads and what I'm seeing without having to scroll down. So if we want to drive phone calls, then we might want to put that phone number into a sticky header. And I'm going to demo this landing page we have right here just to kind of give you a visual. Okay, so this would be the header up here. This business does bathroom remodels. And so, phone call for them would be a primary conversion metric. Here are the phone numbers in the header. So it's as soon as the page loads, people can see the phone number. And it's also in a sticky header, which means that there's some code that was added to make sure that that header stays with me as I scroll down the page. That's helpful because, if I'm scrolling down the page, I'm getting more information. And then if and when I'm ready to reach out to this business, I don't have to then go and find the phone number. It's right here the whole time. So it reduces the amount of friction for me as the user by making sure that the call to action, the action that I can take to actually get started is front and center at all times. There's also these buttons that we placed on this landing page that when clicked will redirect back to the form here. So again, if we want to get form submissions and our form is only on the contact page and people have to scroll down and there's 25 different form fields, then that's not really conducive to making sure that we're making it easily accessible to people and easy to fill out, because it's got to be easy or else people aren't gonna want to do it. Now it could be that you don't need 25, but you need at least 15 form fields. So that could be the case. In this case, they're able to get away with 5, which I think is pretty reasonable. But yeah, so that, having the phone number here, having the form above the fold on the right, usually on the right side, but left side works as well. Really powerful tool to improve conversion rate. Customer focused copy versus company focused. I can't tell you how many times I've visited a ad landing page to find walls of text, and they talk about when the business was founded and all of this kind of information that doesn't really help the person who's clicking on this ad make a decision. And same with the website. We don't want to necessarily put that information front and center. We want to make sure that what we're doing instead is talking about how we can address the pain point faced by this customer and how our business can help them transform from this undesirable state that they're in now to a more desirable after state, and that our business is the guide to help them do that. You want to present a unique selling proposition. So why should someone choose to do business with you versus anyone else in your industry? What makes you special? Create pages for each product or service. So sometimes I've seen like a kind of a one-page website, and there's just a lot of information on a single page, and it really helps to have that information broken out by pages. There are also SEO benefits to this. So if you offer different services and there's a different page for each service, then those different pages can be served in search results and rank for different keywords. So definitely recommend having separate pages. Adding a lead magnet to capture contact information. So by lead magnet, I mean some kind of piece of information that we can provide people with in exchange for their information, like name and email. So that might look like some kind of a guide, maybe a discount, but something of value that we can exchange for their contact information. There's a few benefits to this. So the first obvious benefit is that despite all of the best practices that we can put, and employ on our website or landing page, we're only going to convert so many people. So having some kind of a secondary call to action to capture contact information allows us then to re-engage with people who've left the site because they simply weren't ready. The alternative is that if we don't try to capture their information, then we have to get them back to the website all over again, because once they leave, they're gone. But if we capture their email, then we can enter them into an email sequence. We can, if we have a newsletter, we can add them to that. Another benefit to that is having that first party data. So as we've had more conversations about cookie deprecation and how things are going to look very different, having a real, having some real first party data is going to be a differentiating factor if you're doing advertising, because you can take that email list and you can upload it to different ad platforms. You can target that list if it's big enough, or create lookalike audiences. So it would allow you more opportunities when it comes to advertising and improving algorithmic learning, because it knows what your customers look like. So definitely recommend some kind of a mechanism for capturing contact information and then following up with those people, which is the next bullet. Following up with people via autoresponders, newsletters, or promos. If you're offering some kind of holiday promo or something like that, then now you actually have a list, you have an email list, you can actually alert people about that, as opposed to simply just changing, the homepage of the site.